Over the past 10 years, as many as 32,000 locations have been contaminated with the toxic chemicals associated with methamphetamine. We're heading up to talk to Holland Beckett lawyer Kate Grimmer and building surveyor Graham Blissett about the signs to look for in your property. Hi Kate and Graham. Now Kate, tell me, what is methamphetamine contamination and what are the effects?
Well, methamphetamine is a poisonous and highly addictive drug that's growing in popularity in New Zealand. Methamphetamine contamination is where the residue is left in a property when the drug is used or manufactured there. Now, the residue is highly poisonous and even in minute amounts and can remain indefinitely in a property if it's not adequately remediated. The effects or the short-term health effects if you're exposed to methamphetamine contamination can be breathing difficulties, asthma-like symptoms, skin rashes, headaches and nausea, and long-term effects may even be chronic fatigue or kidney and liver damage, and even an increased risk of cancer. Okay, so Graham, how will a property owner know if their property has been contaminated?
A property owner can look at some, maybe there can be some yellow discolouring to walls and ceilings, there can be burnt grass and vegetation outside, there can be empty gas canisters and cooking rings floating around the section as well. Sometimes you'll see light bulbs missing, staining to basins and toilet bowls as well. So they're generally signs that something is being cooked up in the house.
And what role do property owners or landlords have if their property has been contaminated?
Well, if your property is contaminated with methamphetamine and you've been issued a cleansing order, you need to manage the chemical hazards on the site. You'll need to arrange for the property to be professionally cleansed and decontaminated by experienced professionals, and then retested to check that the contamination levels are acceptable. And the Ministry of Health provides guidelines on what are acceptable levels of contamination. If you're a landlord, you can't rent out a contaminated property. It breaches your obligations under the Residential Tenancies Act. However, if you have decontaminated that property, you're not obliged to disclose this to prospective tenants, unless of course they ask you directly. Okay, so Graham, what testing services do you provide and what is the process?
Okay, Building Surveying Services, we provide a preliminary swab test of the property. We generally take a swab of a top of a light shade or top of a door, which is general places where people don't remember to clean. Mix it with a prepared solution, give it a good old shake and pour it into a cartridge. Now put about 5 drops of that solution into the cartridge and that will come back with some lines. So if it has 1 line, the test is working. If you have 2 lines, the test is a negative test. The testing is worked out as 5 parts per million. So anything higher than that, we send people off to laboratory testing. And what clean-up costs are involved? Well, that can vary significantly depending on the size of the property and how widespread the contamination is. So you could be looking at a few $1,000s, or you could be looking into tens of thousands of dollars, from more floor coverings, wall linings, ceiling linings, kitchens, bathrooms, a whole lot. So it can be quite widespread and very expensive. Now Kate, what cover does the law currently provide and how can you at Holland Beckett help? Well, currently there's no one set of compliance regulations that cover meth contamination and its clean-up. There are a number of acts with relevant provisions. So if a meth lab is discovered by police, they then must notify the council, and then the council issue a cleansing order under the Health Act. This is then noted on the LIM report for the property, and so prospective purchasers will have this indication at an early stage if they obtain a LIM report, and we would advise people to do that. The Building Act contains provisions that allow the council to act in urgent and dangerous situations to go onto properties without notice to the owner. At Holland Beckett, we can help by discussing your purchase of a property with you pre-contract. Obviously not all properties require testing, but if the warning signs are present, then we can assist with
inserting clauses regarding testing prior to an agreement for sale and purchase being signed. You can contact us by phone on 07 578 2199 or at any of our 4 locations in Tauranga, Rotorua, Whakatane or Apoki.
Thanks, Kate. And Graham, if someone is wanting their property checked, how can they do so?
The best way to phone us is on the landline 07 576 4026 or mobile 027 295 3652. We have an office located on the corner of Grange and Milton Road in Otamoto in Tauranga, so you can just call in and discuss any options with us.
Great, thank you very much. So if you're worried about the signs of methamphetamine contamination to your property, get advice from the team at Holland Beckett Lawyers and get your property checked out straight away from Building Surveying Services Bay of Plenty.